Hello everybody, welcome back to another reaction video. Today I'm going to be reacting to Rwby Volume 6, Episode 3, The Lost Fable. Now, last episode, a little bit of a shorter one last time. Didn't really feel like it though, still felt like a decent sized episode. But was once again really good. A lot of intrigue. We're going to get Salem's past in this one, presumably anyway. And I'm imagining we're going to see, you know, all the Ozpin incarnations and that sort of thing in this one. If it's going back, you know, it seems like there's certainly some sort of history there that we're going to find out about. We had Jin, we had the people in, we had, yeah, it was that whole kind of exposition thing at the end of the last episode when they went to the kind of white room, all the characters. I don't really know how that happened, if it's like in their minds individually or what, but I imagine that's how the Relic of Knowledge kind of works, is it kind of just tells you in like a visual way. I don't know, I'm sure it'll be interesting, but that's what we're going to get. Salem as the girl in the tower, and we had Cinder and the kind of, I forgot what the spider gang was called, but you know, the purple people, with, they kind of know where Rwby and that are roughly, I think. But I imagine that we're going to get Neo and Cinder are going to fight out. Probably not this episode, probably next episode, I imagine. But yeah, either way, I mean, last episode definitely had me hyped up. This episode is now here, so let's just watch it, shall we? And go. The intro. Oh yeah, so I wonder if we'll get the whole moon smashing thing. Because if we're going back in time, maybe, well, yeah, if we're getting like history or past stuff, it might be a good time to put those questions to rest. I did see somebody say that the whole thing with Adam, when, you know, when he's in the first episode when he's on the train, that maybe that he was actually there as opposed to it being like PTSD, because I think you're supposed to assume it is. Do you remember earlier in the episode they're talking about like Dee and Dudley or whatever left the back of the train and both of them were insistent and they didn't do it, and somebody was like, what if Adam snuck on? And I was like, ooh. Something is, she's worshipping, well not worshipping, but she's with that Ozpin statue, so I wonder what time period it takes place in. Alright, let's go.
Locked away by her cruel father, Salem was a girl who desired but one thing: freedom. She lived in a time when kings and their kingdoms were plentiful, when men and women were
so they're going to be all like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
And magic was a gift from the gods that all could wield. And yet there she sat within her tower. Until
They're the relics, are they?
a legendary hero came to brave the challenges within the tower's walls. The people of the lands knew him as Ozma. Unlike those who had come before, this warrior was not driven by the prize of the young maiden's hand. He fought only for righteousness, and his pure heart and courageous soul prevailed. They escaped the wretched fortress, and yet something bound them together. Ozma had been ready to give his life for justice countless times, but now saw a woman worth saving it for. And Salem, to her surprise, found her freedom not in the outside world she had yearned for, but in the eyes of the man that had saved
But in
her.
his bedroom.
So, where should we go now?
Bow chicka bow wow.
Wherever you'd like.
The two fell deeply in love, planned adventures around the world, and lived happily ever after.
I doubt it.
Or at least, that's what should have been.
Yeah, exactly.
Ozma, the infallible hero of legend, fell ill. And where all of the beasts and blades of the world had fallen short, a single sickness prevailed.
He had ligma.
How could the gods let this happen?
The gods, brothers of light and darkness, creation and destruction. Salem prayed they would see the injustice that had befallen her love and make things right. The domain of light was a sacred place.
Oh, oh, that's cool.
It was here the elder brother dwelled beside his fountain of life and creation. It was here where mankind would fall to ruin.
Is she gonna make some selfish play to bring him back? Or like sacrifice herself or something? To the darkness? Whoa, holy shit, what is that? Is that the god, is it?
Please. Please bring him back to me.
I understand your pain, but you demand of me that which I cannot make so.
Yeah, she's gonna go to the dark one, isn't she?
Life and death are part of a delicate balance.
It's fucking cool.
So, you won't do it then?
To
Navi.
disrupt the cycle of...
That's not fair. That's not fair!
Let him rest.
So, I mean, before we get to it, I'm imagining she goes to the dark god, kind of sacrifices her own humanity, and
The
then
god of darkness.
in that kind of devilish trickster way, Ozpin gets brought back, but he doesn't just get
None
brought back,
dared
he
to
gets
enter
brought
his
back
home,
every
as
time he
men knew
dies.
what monstrosities emerged from his blackened pools of
That's
annihilation.
good though, I like that. If that's what it
And
is.
so you must understand the Dark Lord's surprise when he found a lone woman kneeling before him.
Oh, oh. So all the grim. So this is where she's hanging out then. That is weird. Oh.
Salem understood it well. She told him of her loss and professed that she knew only he could answer her prayers, all while careful to make no mention of his elder.
Rise, child, and let your faith in me be rewarded.
Oh. You're gonna get evil-fied.
Where am I? What is this? Where am I?
It's okay. Everything's going to be okay.
That'd be freaky though. Imagine that if you just got brought back to life. Oh.
What have you done?
I have done what I please, brother. You may bask in the powers of creation, but you do not own them.
This
Dark
is
God's
not
voice actor sounds
creation.
cool.
Do
Sounds like
not
Watson
lecture
nearly.
me.
I will do what I must to maintain order.
So is he gonna give him the power? Oh no, he gets rid of him.
No! No! What did you do? Bring him back!
You dare enter my domain and show such disrespect!
Ozma!
I am abiding by the rules we agreed upon.
Rules that I now see work ever in your favor. And yet the day a mortal comes to pray at my feet before your own,
The
so
Illidan
you
over it.
arrive to lay your judgment upon me.
Dude, Patronus is going to activate. There we are.
I know we have our differences, but I have not come here with the aim to control you. The same, however, cannot be said for her. This woman came to you only after I denied her pleas. Pleas that would have disrupted the balance that you and I created. Together.
Then it seems I owe you an apology. Allow me to correct my mistake.
Oh.
You monsters! Give him back to me! Give him back!
Jesus. Well, that's weird, isn't it?
When you first came to me, I did pity you. But it is clear now that your selfishness and arrogance have led you astray.
What did you do to me?
I have made you immortal.
Immortal?
You cannot die. You cannot be with your beloved. So long as this world turns,
you shall walk its face. You must learn the importance of life and death. Only then may you rest.
What? Surely that's the opposite of what you want to do. How can she
Salem was
learn
a
death
prisoner once again.
if she's...
Her fruitless attempts to reunite with Ozma
I mean,
eventually
definitely, I get
became
that,
nothing
but-
more than acts of spite and defiance against the gods. But perhaps the gods were not as powerful as they seemed. She had lied,
Like they do it in Shadow.
turned them against one another. They were fallible. If she were to turn humanity against light and darkness,
Ooh.
she could rid herself of their curse. Or at the very least, she could make them suffer. Salem traveled from one kingdom to another, telling tales of how she stole immortality from the gods, welcomed any swordsman to cut her down, and demonstrated her powers. With the kings and queens in awe, she pulled them deeper into her scheme. She painted them pictures of a time when they would no longer have to watch their loved ones wither and die, when they could claim the powers of their creators for themselves, and in turn perfect their own design. All they needed to do was destroy their old masters. The gods had hoped that Salem would learn from her eternal curse. And she did. She learned that the hearts of men are easily swayed.
Yeah. Oh.
Who has led you down this path?
I love all the magic. Look at it. Yeah, I was going to say, I doubt they can do anything
My
to it.
own gift to them, used against me.
I love that the brothers are just like working together, even though they hate each other pretty much.
You thought there was no greater punishment we could bestow upon you?
I'll come back. I'll tell the rest of the world of this massacre. Build a new army.
You do not understand. There is no one left. You are all that remains of humanity.
Christ.
This planet was a beautiful experiment. but it is merely a remnant of what it once was. We will learn from this failure. I hope that you will learn from yours.
No, you can't leave! You can't leave! Come back!
Still demanding things of your creators.
They fucked the moon up on the way out, yes. That's pretty mental. Oh shit. Christ.
Once again, Salem was alone.
How did people come back then?
She cursed the gods. She cursed the universe. She cursed everything. Everything but herself. She wandered the face of the planet, awaiting a death that would never come. Until fate led her back to the land of darkness. This was it. This had to be it. The Brothers Grimm, the pools of black that continued to give rise to
of course it's
horrific
the Brothers
nightmares.
Grimm. Oh, fuck.
If the Fountain of Life granted her immortality,
Never made that connection.
then surely the pools of Grimm would finally take it away.
No, she's going to turn you into a Grimm.
She was wrong. This force of pure destruction could not destroy a being of infinite life.
Oh.
Instead, it created a being of infinite life with a desire for pure destruction.
I like how she's like
And in
still
time,
kind of pure.
She would find her adversary.
How did people come back then? Oh, is he still alive? Did he recreate people? So he's not like the wizard, he's just a wizard. He's the last wizard, basically.
Ozma.
Donut, come closer.
Where am I?
We are between realms. I'm afraid a tragedy has befallen your home at the hands of my brother. We have chosen to depart this world.
Oh, Christ.
But in our absence, I would like to offer you the chance to return to it.
I don't understand.
Mankind is no more, yet your world remains. And in time, your kind will grow to walk its face once again. However, without our presence, they will be but a fraction of what they once were. Creation, destruction, choice, and knowledge were the ideals upon which humanity was made.
Was it?
Now,
The I saw somebody the other day say it was a crown. That's a good idea.
Learn to remake yourselves. If brought together, these four relics will summon my brother and I back to your world, and humanity will be judged. If your kind has learned to live in harmony with one another and set aside their differences, then we shall once again live among you.
Yeah, but they haven't, have they? So
will be made whole again.
Leave them where they are.
But if your kind is unchanged, if you demand our blessings while still fighting amongst yourselves, then man will be found irredeemable, and your world will be wiped from existence. Until your task is complete, you will reincarnate, but in a manner that ensures you are never alone.
I'm sorry, but that world just isn't as dear to me without her. If I may, I'd rather return to the afterlife to see Salem.
You will not find her there.
You mean she isn't gone?
Salem lives, but the woman you hold dear in your memories is gone. Heed this warning. Where you seek comfort, you will only find pain. So, will you...
I'll do it.
Very well.
I got some like Pyrrha vibes there.
Rests within
I imagine
your
that was
hands.
intentional.
And so, Ozma was reborn.
Is that supposed to be him, or is that just somebody random?
Where am I?
Oh, okay, there's it. Oh, we just got put into some random dude though. Yeah, let's go.
Thank you. Please, tell me your name. Who are you?
Yeah, he don't know.
He didn't know.
Ozma had found himself in a world completely unfamiliar to him.
No
Cities
magic.
looked different. Creatures known as the Faunus bore fangs and claws and were locked away in cages.
Oh, so that's where
And
the
without
Faunus
the
came
blessing
from.
of the gods, no one could perform magic like mankind was once capable of. No one but himself and a woman known as the Witch.
Oh wow, does she actually
During
live in
his
the
years
fucking
of travel,
house in the woods?
He heard the same frightened whispers that spoke of a terrifying sorceress who commanded dark powers in the wilds among the beasts and monsters.
How long's it
Ozma
left?
was convinced that this witch
Still a bit,
was
but-
Salem, and decided he needed to see what she had become. Call it magic or call it something stronger, but in that moment, the two knew exactly who it was that stood before them.
What do we do now?
Whatever we like.
As Salem and Ozma recounted the events which had brought them back together, each withheld
What's
parts
this
of their
apple
story.
thing?
Salem, fearing Ozma would reject her, blamed the end of the world on the gods. Ozma, still unsure of where the truth lay, kept his task and the relics a secret. Though time passed and all seemed well, Ozma's conversation with the God of Light still lingered in his mind. He had found happiness, but humanity seemed more divided than ever before.
Are you surprised? This world is quite literally godless. These humans have no one to guide them. Perhaps that's all they need.
What are you saying?
We could
Oh, I
become
wish they had
gods of
Shannon
this
do the
world.
voice though.
Our powers surpass all others. Our souls transcend death. We can mold these lands into whatever we want. What you want. Create the paradise that the old gods could not.
The hearts of men are easily swayed.
So did he kind of help her for a bit and then realise that it's probably not the best idea? Oh, what the hell? Yeah. So that's what he's kind of hiding, is the fact that he was kind of helping her.
The two amassed a following. That following grew into a prosperous kingdom. And at the head of that kingdom blossomed a family.
Were they the maidens? Were they? Possibly. I wonder if that's what that was going
Are
for.
we sure this is right?
You said we needed to bring humanity together. In order to do that, we have to spread our word and destroy those who will deny it.
Oh.
What are we doing?
That's pretty spooky.
This isn't what he asked of me.
What did you say?
Mother! Father! Look!
Yeah, it must
It
be.
was a miracle. Their children could perform magic. But what should have been a joyous occasion was short-lived. Ozma told Salem everything. The true reason the God of Light had brought him back. The relics that lay scattered around the world. And the day of judgment he had been told to prepare for.
Don't you see? None of that matters anymore. Why spend our lives trying to redeem these humans when we can replace them with what they could never be?
Mommy?
Rip Doggo. Oh. Oh, did she just come out of Grimpool? That's cool.
We finally have freedom.
Thus began a long and painful cycle of death and rebirth for Ozma. Some lives were spent in mourning. Many were spent attempting to forget it all. But no matter what, his mind would eventually turn back to the task.
Oh, so that's how nerdy Ozpin made the star.
As the centuries went on, Ozma began to learn the importance of living with the souls with which he had been paired. But no matter where or how he lived, her presence was always felt. If humanity were ever to stand a chance of being united, one thing was clear.
He had to destroy Salem.
Knowing he could never rid the world of her through any mortal means, Ozma
you can
sought
show us
out
what it
the
does so
power
bad.
of the relics. Armed with my knowledge, he believed
Oh,
he
did he
could
keep it
fulfill
safe for the
his
next time?
promise to the God of Light.
Looks like Shin.
Where are the other relics?
He asked me his questions,
What powers do they possess?
and though I gave him my answers,
How do I destroy Salem?
not all of them were to his liking. You can't.
He's got a redeemer then. Christ, alright. That was an episode. A lot of answers. A lot of answers. What was that? God of Darkness. Ozma. Ozma was Shannon as well. Oh, okay. So he's both. Salem. Jen Taylor was pretty good in this. Like it's Salem, but it's not. You know, like it doesn't sound like you know it's her, but you can't tell it's her 100%. I quite like that. Yeah, Christ. Alright. So we got to see a ton of different Ozpins, like I hoped. I think they've gone the right direction with this though. Because it's like his tale is, you know, the secret is that he kind of helped her for a bit, and that he's got his mission or whatever, and it's like, so you can see why he doesn't want them to know, but also it's not bad enough to where it's like he's a bad guy, you know. I reckon when we come back to them all being in the same, you know, in the snow or whatever, they'll kind of see that, yeah, alright, fair enough, you're a good guy, you know, but they might still be pissed off at him from not telling them, maybe. But yeah, I think it's certainly interesting. I get a feeling that you probably don't want the relics to be all together, you know. It's like if Judgment is coming, I don't think they want that. Like, it might seem like, even though it's his mission, I think in the end you probably just want to leave them be, because I don't think, even if they get rid of Salem, it's like they'll end up finding out that people are not good enough for Judgment, and I don't know why you'd want gods anyway. But yeah, so we had the little kids for the maidens, presumably, and their power got passed on, or passed down the line. Nothing about Silver Eyes. I would have thought we might have got something maybe like some origin or something, so a little snippet somewhere in there. But I like this idea of like the world before the gods left, you know, so he's been there for a long time, you know, but it's like it's only remnant. I wonder what it was called afterwards, you know, or like beforehand, sorry, because if it's only kind of been named remnant after it's now the remnants of the original world, you know, then they left, you know, they noped out of there and shattered the moon with them. But yeah, that was really, so they got the Grimm are just something that were there, and they're kind of the god of darkness. God of darkness's pets, kind of, or like, you know, his stuff. And then she kind of gets that, but kind of becomes a Grimm. But yeah, I liked all that stuff of him kind of reincarnating. I like the fact that they had a kind of, you know, he's tried to live, or he's tried to fight, and then he's tried to get given up a bit. It kind of reminds me of like Groundhog Day kind of style stuff, you know, where it's like him jumping in front of buses, and it's like the amount of time that he spent there, you know, it's like he's tried everything in the playbook until eventually he's like, all right, I should probably just get on with what I'm supposed to be doing. You know, it's like I need to break this cycle. I need to learn the piano. But yeah, I like that he kind of created his staff. We didn't get to see what it did, but you know, I'm sure we'll find out eventually. But it's got more tricks up its sleeve. But then he kind of sealed it away, so it's like he wants that in every incarnation, maybe. So I wonder if it has something to do with like, I don't know. But it seems like it's like he wants that weapon. Which, if anything, if you're going to keep a weapon, surely make some like super badass weapon and then be like, I want that one every time, not like a stick. Because it's like, for what he uses the start of the cane for, I reckon you could just use like a bit of old driftwood or something. But yeah, I do like the fact, like, the whole wizard thing. It's like everyone was a wizard basically before, you know, the gods killed everyone, and then so it's not like he's the wizard, he's just the last wizard. You know, I really like that. That's cool. I do remember though in, I think, volume 3, when he's like talking about the maidens, he's like, that one's been around since I was a boy. And it's like, it hasn't really, you know, because like you weren't a boy, but it's like you were there, you know, it's been around since you were young, since you were creating the maidens. I sort of like the fact that the fairy tale is not 100% correct, you know, it's like, it's not like he granted the maidens powers, you know, it just happens that the maidens were his children and they got his powers basically. But yeah, that was good. That was a good episode so far. I think the only thing I would say, I mean, it's not really doesn't really bother me that much because it was such a good episode, but like the fight with kind of Salem and Ozpin, I feel like maybe that should have been a fight, like an actual fight scene, not like the kind of, you know, light show on the wall, light show from outside. Maybe it actually had something, because they kind of did that in like Cinder and Ozpin in volume 3 or whatever. It was the same sort of thing, and it's like we don't really ever get to see Ozpin proper fight with magic, you know, and I think it would have been a nice opportunity, because it's not like he has that much magic. I wonder if he's weaker now, you know, because we've never seen him use that level of magic that he was using in this. But yeah, I wonder if he's kind of weaker and can't use that level of magic anymore. Either way, yeah, it was a good episode. I enjoyed it a lot. If you enjoyed this episode and my reaction to it, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe so you're notified of the next one. I'm going to try and upload these every week. I upload them preemptively as well, so they actually go out on the Saturday and not get blocked immediately. But yeah, if you have enjoyed it, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I've been Eproth, and I'll see you in the next video.